What's happening, mate?
Yes.
You all good?
Well, we don't know. I'm either all good or I'm gonna die. One or the other.
Can you
I'll
die
not
tonight?
find out until tomorrow. Or in the middle of the night I'll find out.
You mightn't find out at all. You might be dead. You might be dead.
Could be dead.
You could be dead. Here, about the reason it was so late, we had a fucking absolute nightmare uploading it to YouTube. Thanks, YouTube. So we done everything we could. Took music out of the highlights. Took the dancing boy, Marvel star, out of it a wee bit. Cut his bit down, thinking that was the whole thing. You know what it was?
What?
Fucking tiny wee clip I used of Fred in the background of the German TV show.
Fucking Fred. Sack him. Out. You're right, Fred. It was a nice idea. It was very gracious of you. They offer your support, but shit the bed. You're out.
Clip of him, some wee lad getting interviewed and Fred in the background. I put that clip in and it absolutely tortured me all week. 4 times I tried to upload that to YouTube and it told me copyright claim. So, sorry for the delay. Go straight into fantasy football this week.
Right,
so
where's Barry?
Well, there's no Barry this week. We're giving a wee break. So we're back. Barry will be back next week, and we'll have Oisin in fantasy football. So here is this week's fantasy football. No real change at the top. Ballyjohn Blues still number 1. Thomas Regan. Dynamo de Vogue is 2nd. We Are Groot 3rd. Barry Spence 4th. And the subs and McRoyd is in 5th. Martin O'Bradley is, where is Martin O'Bradley? I'd say you're way down the table, mate. 27th, you're in. 27th.
There?
I don't know what happened to you, mate, to be honest.
Was there was no game week or something, isn't that right?
There was games during the week. There's games during the week. There was games at the weekend. There's games this weekend. Now we're recording on a Friday night again, by the way, which is a fucking nightmare. But it's really, really affecting my social life.
Mine too.
I'm missing out on being out in the bar. We have a prize sponsored by Toffee Art. So this month's prize is a wee frame picture, Subbuteo frame from Toffee Art himself. And the winner of the prize, by about 9 points, he won it by.
Hey.
Ballyjohn Blues is in 2nd.
Oh, right.
Dynamo de Vogue, John Henson. Well done. All that studying, all that hard work
All
in
that
the office.
studying. Not fucking surprised.
Head on. Well done. Brent Nicely was 3rd. And Gary Downs was 4th. Gary Downs was 4th overall.
That's very good.
Well done, Gary. We'll talk about Gary in a wee while in the results. I suppose we'll talk about him in the interview as well with our guest. Here is this week's Oisin Moore with Oisin. Who's hot and who's not? Check it out.
Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to come along.
Well, I heard you. Tá fáilte roh, Haig Moray, August Haina Shafton you. Hi folks, you're very welcome to my Who's Hot and Who's Not for this week, Christmas special. My Who's Hot this week would have to be Silva. Put him in your team for an early Christmas present. Make him your captain, make him your triple captain and spoil yourself for Christmas. He'll do well for you. My Who's Not is someone who's gone off the boils since last year, Stuart Dallas, the Leeds an Irish player. He's not doing so well this year and probably not going to do too great against Chelsea. So, Sinead Harja, August Chief Mishiv and Chansha Hugging, Nullag War White Huggov, August Blainer Washa. That's it, folks. I'll see you all next week and have a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Nullag Hannah, Blainer Washa.
Sex bomb, you're my sex bomb. You can give it to me when I need to come.
Brilliant, Oisin. Thank you, mate.
Brilliant.
Right, Bradley. Introduce
Is that the
our
end of
guest.
fantasy
End of
football?
fantasy football. Introduce our guest now.
You never give out your position in the fantasy football.
I did. I said 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
It was that far down, I couldn't hear it.
Go on, introduce our guest there.
Very special guest this week. Hey?
Hmm?
English Subbuteo legend. The man from the black and white TVs. The boy with a golden finger. President of the English Subbuteo Association. The one and only Mr. Justin Finch.
Welcome, Justin. Welcome, Justin.
What's the crack, Justin?
Cheers, guys. How you doing? You all right?
All's good in the hood.
How's South Africa treating you?
Well, you just have to put up with it. I mean, it's obviously I'm going to be spending Christmas here now.
Are you fuck?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Wait,
So I'll be having,
I thought you were meant to come home.
I was, but then they said that I've got to pay $2.5 grand to stay in a quarantine hotel. So I thought, stuff that. December is a time of, to me, having a celebration, having a good time. January's the worst month of the year, so I thought, well, I might as well be miserable and be locked up in January.
So where are you staying? Are you renting a house or are you staying with somebody?
Well, my dad's got a place out here, so I'm living here, which is lucky, because if he didn't, then I would probably be sort of doing an Airbnb sort of thing. But it's all working out okay. The weather's good. Tournament in Johannesburg last weekend, which you probably saw. So
yeah,
congratulations!
Congratulations! Current South African champion.
Little secret to tell you as well. On the Friday, there was an old Subbuteo event, so we had to use the old figures, and I didn't bring an old set with me. So Gary Downs lent me his, dare I say, it's Argentinian team. So yeah, so. I won the event with an Argentinian team, but I referred to them as Las Malvinas instead.
You could have used them as a local Irish team called Ballymena. Have the same kit. Here,
they have the same kit now.
We were giving you a bit of stick a few weeks ago about wearing the
Can't see.
shirt.
Can only see half your face again, man. Everybody's missing out here.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what they pay the money for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving you a bit of stick a few weeks ago about wearing the Wolves shirt. West Ham fan.
Yeah, it was a bit of stick. You know what? I don't live too far away from Wolverhampton, so I can talk like that if I want to. I can blend in with those people, and I can speak their language if I need to, like. Even though it might sound a bit miserable to you guys and all that, you know.
That's exactly what they sound like.
And we did a great job. Yeah. So no, in all fairness, it was a great laugh playing with them because they're good lads, and we never thought we'd win. I said on the Friday night, just take each game as it comes.
I never thought you would win it.
We thought, no, there was other teams there. I'd say probably slightly stronger in players in depth. The great thing about that tournament, though, for me, was that there was a greater spread of players across all the clubs. So there was some good players playing for each club. It wasn't like, I know you interviewed Chris Thomas a few weeks ago. There was a discussion about the glide slide and the English Premier League and all that sort of stuff. There was none of that. So it was a fairly level playing field.
Yeah. And
I said, even though we lost our first game in the sort of top division, I said that actually I'd expect that there'll be teams beating everyone in this league. So it's not over yet. And it proved to be correct. So they were over the moon that they won, though.
Yeah.
Right, who bit these in the first match?
That was Harrow. They beat us.
They were. I like the way you split the league into two leagues. That was good the way that happened.
Yeah, I mean that to me was a great idea because what it did, it sort of it separated the good teams from perhaps the less skilled teams, and then it created a bit more fair play competition on the next day. So it all worked out really nicely, actually. It's really difficult to organise an event like that, though, when you've get it right. I mean, it depends on the number of players, really, and the number of teams playing in the event, because if you've got 20 teams, then it could become quite difficult to do that. And the best way to do it probably would be a Swiss system, where you get everybody would play like a round robin, but you play based on the league ladder. So if you win your first match, you play the other team that's won their first match, and it's sort of goes on goal difference and that sort of thing. Don't know if you've used the Swiss system before, but for me,
we keep talking about it, but
one of the great things about it over the years has been that we get, you know, when you go to an event, quite often you get to the final, and the two players in the final are only being watched by about 8 people because everybody's gone home.
Yeah.
And I find that quite disappointing, really. You know, for players that are in the final, even for myself, you know, when I've been in finals, it just seems a bit bad. That's the way it is. But with Swiss system, everybody's in the hall till the end of the day, because the last round, whoever's playing in the final match, so there's the top 2 in the league, they'll be playing, and the players that are like 39th and 40th, they'll be playing, whatever it may be, and that's great because then it gives everybody a chance to sort of end the day together and socialise together. I think that's what often gets missed, you know, when people. And the other thing is for organisers as well. If you think about organisers, you know, it's not really fair that everybody leaves and they're left with about 4 or 5 people at the end to do pick up all the tables and do all the lifting.
I know.
That's a good idea. It definitely does keep people there longer, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's more to it than just it's more about helping the organisers as well as making the event more of a social occasion. I think that's why I'm a big fan of it. Yeah. But not every player likes it because, you know, people like having a final, even though they don't want to watch it. Most of them, they like having the semi-final and final format because it's a bit more exciting in that respect. And I think that's probably true. Yeah. But I just think for the good of the game, it's better to have everybody in the room at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
And especially with lifting fucking tables and all after, it's a nightmare. That's a whole handling in itself. Gathering tables and trellises and getting everybody organised. So if everybody's there, it's definitely half the battle.
Absolutely.
Do you go to them tournaments, Justin, as a player, or do you go with your ESA hat on, chairman, and you try and improve things when you go? Like, do you see ways of improving every club when you go to them?
President. It's president.
Yeah, president.
El Presidente, yeah. No, I think I tend to go as a player, really. I try to switch off. Obviously, I help out with organisers and stuff and decisions that need to be made, if there's any decisions to be made. But generally speaking, I try to keep myself as a player and have a bit of fun for the weekend. It depends. If I'm involved in organising the event, though, it's different then. I will, you know, be totally focused on organising. People don't... I think, as you probably know, it's not easy organising an event. Nothing worse than people not turning up, missing finishes and that sort of stuff. So frustrating, isn't it? Yeah. So I think a lot of the people that organise events don't get enough credit for what they do.
And there's a lot of new stuff, especially with the likes of the stuff Alan's putting on there as well. All these new clubs starting up. It's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really funny actually because I played Alan at the Wobbly Hobby Championship thing, and that was really interesting because that was the first time we'd played for 30 years, right?
Yeah,
might be 35 years. The time previous to that was in the English national finals at Wembley when I beat him with 20 seconds left on the clock to play for England in the World Cup. He was really pissed off. So this game
took him 30 years to get over it.
He was quite. Well, he still got over it because he said this was the game when we were playing against each other. He said, "This is it. This is my moment." You know, like Martin McCutcheon, my perfect moment, all this rubbish. And I said, I just thought, right, okay. And I noticed he was quite aggressive, actually. You know, in the match, he was a bit competitive and all this. I thought, right, prison rules, is it second half? I said to him. And we had a good laugh, actually, but it was a close game. He took the lead against me as well. But yeah. So that was.
You beat him 2-1, did you?
2-1, yeah. But it was close. I mean, bearing in mind, he's not been playing as long as I have. So
no, he's had
well.
quite a gap. He's had quite a gap, Alan, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You never talked about gap out of it, did you, Justin?
Yeah, I did. Big gap.
Did you?
So I packed up about 96. and didn't come back till about, I think, 2005. So quite a big gap.
And did
I
you
missed out
did
on a lot of fun, apparently.
the golden finger when you retired?
Well, I'll tell you a funny
What's that?
story.
What's that boy worth now? What's he worth now?
Oh, he's
Well-
worth a fortune. He's worth a fortune.
Not so much now, a bit slower. But I could tell you a very funny story in Johannesburg, actually, when I played in that tournament. This girl came up to me, and I was just before I was about to play a match, and she said, "Hi, Justin. How much is your finger worth today?" And I said, well, "It's not worth anything now, love, honestly, like that." She said, "But I understand you were called Goldfinger." And I said, "That's correct. Yeah, I was called Goldfinger. That was a long time ago in a galaxy far away, though, you know." And she said, "So what else can you do with your hands?" Now, when she said that, her husband had a mask on. He was looking in the background, right? And I couldn't see if he was gurning or what. But he didn't look very happy. I could see sort of anger in his eyes, sort of thing. But then the funniest thing was when I was playing, I scored a good goal. And she said, "Oh, wow, Goldfinger." And then during the match, I played with my left hand. Sometimes you get in a position where you have to use your other index finger, and I used my left. And then she looked at me. She went, "You can use your left hand as well?" I was like, "Oh, for God's sake." This is going to end up going down the wrong road, this one, isn't it? I think. Yeah. But, and then the next thing she said was, "So if your index finger was worth 50,000, how much is your middle finger worth?" And I thought long and hard about how to answer this, and I said, literally, fuck knows.
Mm-hmm. You end up losing a hand over there, man. Carry on up.
I know.
There's so many lanes and jokes you go down. We'll just keep it simple. Stay away from the jokes.
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
Blue,
yeah.
There's no blue in this show, Justin.
We could go blue. It has potential.
Is there not? Yeah. Well, I'll try and watch my P's and Q's. Don't worry about that.
There's no cursing. There's no cursing in this show. No fucking no calling boys' names. No drinking. No smoking.
So when are you guys organising your next event then?
We're going to run a stuff in June. We've put in for
that's on the calendar. It's booked in. We're booked in for
18th of June, 18th and 19th.
It's the week before now. We had to move it the week before.
Oh, right, there you go.
Really?
The week before.
So it's like the 11th and 12th. 11th and 12th of June next year. That's the big one. But we're on next Monday night.
Oh, yeah?
Christmas Cup. You'll be in South Africa. You're no use to it, man.
Yeah. But I would love to come over and play in your event. So I think that'll be a good experience.
I think we'll get a good crowd, you know, especially with the show, the likes of yourself and Chris Thomas and Bob Varney, and you know, yous are all a little group of good mates, you know what I mean? It'd be great to have yous all over.
Oh, I'm sure we'll party. I've seen there's a karaoke thing going on, isn't there, as well? I saw.
We definitely have to have a tradition. It'll be a tradition at all events.
Elliot's coming. Alan's coming.
Elliot was
Alan
the
has
star.
Elliot's coming
Really?
next year. He reckons Chris will come too. So we'll get yourself over as well. Get the whole band going.
Oh no, I think that'll be a good crack. You know, I'll see if I could even try and turn up with the Wolves lads again.
Well, I would like to think that Justin and them boys would come as well. Do you know what I mean? They'd be more than. I'm sure they would love to get back over.
Yeah, they've had. I think there was like an inter-club thing, wasn't there? I think they played in that. I'm not sure how long ago that was, but they seem to enjoy it. They said.
Oh,
right,
that's still going, man. That's still going.
We still have. Well, last year was meant to be Glasgow last year with COVID. Would have been the final round. Martin Og went to Wolverhampton 2 years ago, and then they were all here 2016. Was it, Martin?
No, 2018. We went.
18?
That started, Justin. We went over to Wales, over to London Road. So it was ourselves, London Road, Wolverhampton, and Glasgow. And then
Brilliant.
the next year, they all came over here. So the three of them came over to Derry, and we had the Derry Open here, which was the same thing, the Enter Club. Then it was Wolves, so we all went to Wolverhampton the next year. And there was another, Lincoln Flickers played as well with us that time. And I think somebody else, some other club
Andrew
as well.
Boyer. Andrew Boyer.
Andrew Boyer was there. Yeah, they were there.
John
Good lads.
John Devaney normally. Yeah.
Oh,
Is he there?
don't know, maybe. I'm not sure, man. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
So I think
Yeah.
next year, I think we're talking about February, wrapping it up in
April,
February
no,
or
it's
sometime.
April in Glasgow. April in Glasgow. And that'll be the fourth round. And then it's back to the beginning. Back to Wales again. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. Doesn't interfere with anything else, you know. So I think because we've done it for so long, we're just going to keep it going, keep it lit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you should.
The more things go in, the merrier, I think, for everybody involved.
What about? Go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's a lot more interest now in the game as well. I think there's a lot of players coming out of, say, retirement and picking their figures back up again. I got contacted by the One Show today in the early hours of the ESA did. So we're getting some publicity from the BBC at the moment. So I don't know if they're going to do an interview or not. But the lady said to me from the One Show on an email that she is looking to do an interview and doing a feature on Subbuteo and the comeback again.
BBC has jumped on it because you had Jerry Harrington's thing. I think kicked it all off, didn't it, last week? His piece on the BBC, and then I was listening to 5 Live on Monday morning. I got in my van to go to work. It was about 9 o'clock, and
same boy.
They had just finished talking about Subbuteo, so I went back and rewinded it and listened to it on BBC Sounds app. And it was just a random chat about an orange ball, using an orange football at the City West Ham game. And your man says, it reminded me of Subbuteo, you know. And then they started talking about Subbuteo, and your man says, come back, you know. So obviously, like over the weekend past there, it's really started gathered a bit of momentum again.
My big hope for all that now, you had the Scottish boys on that A View from the Terrace show.
Yeah.
Right, and the games looked fucking brilliant. Do you know what I mean? The camera angles, the quality, the videos look brilliant. You Jerry and them boys on the BBC, on the website, man, front page and even over here, front page of the BBC, boom, Subbuteo, Jerry and all that crowd. Jerry on the radio. What I would like now is get you on that one show, but none of this old Subbuteo. It has to be the modern game. People have to look at it and see it being sharp and fast and jazzy, you know. And then people start playing the modern game, and it's not the fucking nostalgia side of things has to go away. Yeah, that has to be pushed to the side. It has to be about the game now. It's as competitive as soccer. It says, I mean, fuck man, I'm watching snooker there on the TV the other day, and I'm thinking, you know, boys will watch snooker that don't play snooker. Boys would watch this. You know what I mean? If you had them angles, if you had that TV crowd from the BBC that did that View from the Terrace, if you had them sort of angles, you know, on YouTube, there's the full final match filmed by the BBC. It looks amazing. Looks amazing, man. You know, if you throw up graphics, Bennett fucking helping 1-0. You know what I mean?
I think it goes back to the point, even in like South Africa, right? Because they've got a lot of people that play the game here that play with old Subbuteo. And they've got some players that play, you know, with the new Fistev type figures and all that sort of stuff. What was interesting over the 2 days was that the matches were quite short. I mean, they're only like 12-minute matches, so that they did that to keep the goals and to keep the goals down and keep it competitive. But what was interesting was that when we played old Subbuteo, it was really hard to score with the old figures. I mean, Las Malvinas that I use, right? It was hard work trying to score a goal. I can assure you, it was. They were saying that, you know, how sort of They couldn't believe that I could manage to flick the players in a straight line. They were saying things like that. A lot of them were spinning the players. But in the second day, when we used the FISTEF, the extreme works, the Astro base figures, everybody, there was a lot more goals, a lot more entertainment, a lot more shouting, a lot more enjoyment, a lot more fun. And I think that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a better.
Kids are going to take up the game. Yeah.
If wins, kids are going to take it. It's a better game. And there's always been this talk about Oisin and Subbuteo and the Olympics. You fucking nonsense in the Olympics. Like table tennis, curling. Do you know what I mean? You've all this here sort of shit. Why is Subbuteo not on there? It's proper competitive. You know what I mean? It's a proper competitive game. And the skill levels through the, yourself. Maybe people from outside looking at think there's no great skill involved there. Sure, anybody could do that. But spend 10 minutes in the pitch with somebody and you know rightly. That there's boys that there's skills through the fucking roof.
There's a whole load of things you can go through. What about the ESA's making? In the last couple of years, he's really started making. Come back, haven't you? Really, it's been sort of away for a while, but it's starting to make a resurgence.
Well, the interesting thing there is that we've built a new website, and that sort of. We're looking for a website editor now because it's a lot of hard work adding content, as you probably know. Yeah. But what's really happened is that my policy as the chairman has been to embrace all avenues of the game. All right. So I don't care if you're a collector. I don't care if you're a solo player. I don't care if you're a competitive player or just a friendly, fun, family sort of friendly type player. It's irrelevant. The most important thing is, do you like playing Subbuteo? Do you enjoy playing Subbuteo? Or do you like collecting it? It doesn't matter. We want everybody to be part of the community, because I think what's happened in the past, there's been these divides, and there still are divides. You've got people that don't want to mix with the players because they like to be solo players, and there's collectors that don't want to mix with the players because they do their head in because they think it's all too competitive. And there's some truth in that as well, because there are some people that take it too far. And they get a bit too aggressive and stuff like this. But I think, generally speaking, the way I see it is that we just want to promote every aspect of the game. That's it. Yeah. So if you've got someone like Alan Crampton, who's got his beautiful Aston Villa stadium that he's building, we want to show that on the website, because it's still part of the game. It's a different variant of the game, but it's still part of the game. Shouldn't use the word variant, should I?
Not anymore, man. That way you're fucking sitting anyway.
But it's true in what you say. I mean, we talk about it every week. We make fun of solo players every week because we think it's funny that they don't want to join in. I know, but there is that side of the community. I mean, you go on Facebook and there's a solo group, and they don't want. If we try and share our videos, they don't want you to share. If you go on a collector's page, they don't want anything to do with it. There is that divide, and you're trying to bring it all together. The ESA, and you've brought in Mr. Stuart Grant. A great idea.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I think Stuart's adds another dimension to what we're doing. So he's obviously very talented with his own show. It's Subbuteo, isn't it? But
it's big with the kids on Twitch, Twitter, Tweak. What do you call it?
Yes,
TikTok,
Twitch.
TikTok,
Twitch?
TikTok.
Yeah, Twitch is the PlayStation thing, isn't it? I think. But I think it's good to have a bit of variety on the board. We've actually probably got too many board members now, but it's because we want expertise. We want to listen to different opinions. And we always vote. We've got like a WhatsApp group, so we communicate through WhatsApp because it's the quickest way to actually make decisions. Because if it was all done over email, you have to wait days before anybody responds. WhatsApp, we set deadlines and say, look, thumbs up or thumbs down with decisions and stuff like this, and it all works very well. And Stuart's going to add, another view to the game, but also help us with promoting the game more than anything. I think that's the key, isn't it? Because it's like shows like this. What you guys do. It helps promote the game and it helps generate interest, which is all. I did my own ESA show earlier this year, and
Yeah, we've seen a couple
I
of
found
them.
it quite challenging. Yeah, because I just interviewed players really, and I interviewed Alan Crampton, a few people outside of the competitive side of the game. But I found it quite challenging to run it because it's particularly when I did the foreign guests. That was interesting. Because
we've been there, man. We've been there.
That's hard.
Yeah,
it's
so
hard.
you send them the questionnaire before the show, and then you've
You
got
would
their
think.
answers. And I was trying. Yeah, and it was very much I was doing Del Boy Spanish at times.
We
to get along.
we Daniel Sheen on here, and there was no questionnaire sent in beforehand.
Really?
As lovely as Daniel is, it was a rough show, wasn't it?
But it's like you
Yeah.
say, it's part and parcel of it.
I know. I like your
Yeah.
idea, man. I think it's a good idea. I do. I have my own opinions. I don't dislike any sector of the Subbuteo Society, but I would say that the players are actually there's an awful snobbery in Subbuteo. But in my mind, it's inverted. It's the wrong way around. The players should be the snobs in Subbuteo, but it's not. It's the collectors that are the snobs. That's not Subbuteo. Look down. The players, I've always found, the players are
That's interesting.
regardless how competitive or how uncompetitive, the players always seem to be the most open and welcoming. Because the players will always have a collection of Subbuteo stuff that they have. They'll have painted teams that maybe paint themselves. They'll play the odd game on their own. They'll play solo Subbuteo during lockdown, but they're very welcoming. I mean, you're over there in South Africa, and then boys said to you, "We're going to have an old Subbuteo tournament." You didn't turn your nose up and say, "Fuck that! I'm Justin Finch. I'm the man with the golden finger. I don't play that shit. That's 30 years ago." You says, "Oh, I've no team," and they give you a team. You say, "Oh, fucking brilliant," and you sat and you played. Do you know what I mean? Whereas there's a certain sector would say, "Nah, not looking at that." No.
It's modern.
Boys,
It's modern
I think.
Subbuteo. I'm not getting the ball.
Yeah, look, you get people. You'll always get what I call the energy vampires in life, otherwise known as the keyboard warriors. People just have their own view and they don't really want to embrace other channels. That's fine. That's just life. That's people for you anyway, isn't it? I mean, you never please them all. But I think FISTEF are trying to introduce the next World Cup. They're going to introduce an old Subbuteo World Cup format. So that's going to be interesting because they've not done that before.
Would
you throw your hat in the ring?
You should. You're a South African old Subbuteo champion.
Yeah, I could, couldn't I? Yeah.
But
might have to represent Argentina though.
There's a common misperception that the old Subbuteo isn't competitive, that it's all about the nostalgia and the fun. But I mean, old Subbuteo is quite big in Italy, and them fuckers are tight, man. They'll not, that's competitive.
I can tell you, I listened to this one a few years ago. I played in a tournament in Maidenhead. I remember the name John, someone that organised it. But a good event, but it's an Anglo-Italian Cup, it was called. Okay,
Ooh.
So they had about 30 players from Italy that came to the event in Maidenhead. There was about 20 English players at the event, if I remember. But you were given a team to use at the start of the day. I think it was one of Paul Lloyd's teams, the Santiago's. Yeah. So we all were given. I had this horrible-looking Icelandic blue team. I don't know what the name was so long, it was ridiculous, right? But I played with this Icelandic team, and anyway, when I got to the quarter-final, played this Italian guy, and his wife was filming the match with a video camera, and I was winning 1-0, and he hit the bar, right, and he screamed goal, and his wife. We stopped the match. His wife got the video camera and replayed the shot.
VAR.
Swear to God, right? VAR. Yeah. Before VAR.
VCAR.
Yeah. So I was like, what the hell is this going on here? Anyway, it was inconclusive. The referee, I thought it hit the bar. The referee said it hit the bar, but the player was adamant. And the replay, it just looked like it hit the bar and came out. It would have been very strange if the way the ball came out that it had hit anywhere else. But he wasn't having it. He was very upset, very animated. But that was old Subbuteo, all right? If you want to call it old Subbuteo, because it was the old, yeah.
Did his wife
Heavyweights.
Did his wife ask about your finger?
No.
Or the middle one?
But
I mean, they talk
yeah.
about old Subbuteo. In your day, in your early days, that
Your
was
heyday?
old Subbuteo. That's what they're calling now old Subbuteo. The real Subbuteo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny because what people talk to me about the game in the past. I was a collector. When I was 9 years of age, I had the stadium. I had all as my best Christmas present, apart from the Commodore 64. I thought it was pretty much my best Christmas present, Subbuteo. Right? And I loved having the stadium and having the. I used to pretend I was Barry Davis every evening in my room, commentating on the match. So I was a solo player as well. But then I got into playing competitively when I was a few years later. That was it. And then, yeah, absolutely, it was lightweights, heavyweight figures that we used. And also, I played the big ball as well, because I played in the ETSA, which was the big ball, which was really actually a lot more competitive than Subbuteo. The players were a lot more. I mean, some of the players look like characters from the Goodies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Goodies?
Yeah.
But they all had all these. I shouldn't say this, but all old men with beards, long beards.
Like hair
Tim
coming
Buck-
out their ears and their nose.
Big sloth there.
Yeah. If you ever go on YouTube and watch the World Tiddlywink Championships, you'll know the type of people that I'm referring to. Right?
You're going to get us hit here.
Hey, look, they're my friend
The
the grace of God,
Tiddlywinkers
go all of us.
are going to be on this. We get enough hit in the show.
That was good with the big ball. I enjoyed the big ball with the cloth pitches. I had played some great tournaments with the big ball. It was good fun. So, but I'm very much an old Subbuteo player. Really.
You know what I mean?
You've
Do you
carried-
know Colin Fletcher?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, Colin. I remember chatting to Colin. It was when we were in Wolverhampton, chatting to Colin, and he was. I don't know what we were chatting, but this is years ago before all this fucking tobacco. He was saying about I don't know why people give off. Do you know about the new game? He says not even the new game. Colin, he started playing when he was away and never took a break. He's never took like a year off or anything. He never stopped playing. The bases changed from heavyweights to the lightweights. He went along with. There was the pitches changed from the outcloth to the nylon. He went along with. And then the flat bases come out. He just went along with. The rules changed. He just went along with. He just seen the game develop. What the game he plays now, he doesn't see it in his head as any different to the game that he started playing with the wobbly bases. It's grown to what it is now. It's moved along. I always thought that's the best way of looking at it.
I think that's right. It's just an evolution of the game, isn't it? And he's adapted. I mean, he's played the big ball. He's played in all the old events in the 80s that I played in. I've known him for a long time. He's always, one of the best things that happened for me was when he qualified to play for the England Vets, because he's always wanted to sort of play for England at the sort of in the new FISTEF era, and he qualified. I think it was around 2013. He was so over the moon. But it's people like that. You want to see them play for England and stuff like this because you know they love the game.
He's a gentleman, isn't he?
He is absolutely, and he can pull off some good results as well.
Yeah.
So he's more than capable of challenging everyone.
His wee bandana around his head.
Oh mate, if that bandana's on, you've had it. You're in trouble. Yeah, it's like John Rambo.
Yes, obviously you're going to go to the World Cup next year in Rome, and we've been talking to different people about selection and who gets picked for the teams. You're going to have a bit of a nightmare picking a team for Rome, aren't you?
Well, there's been a lot of arguments actually in the past about how qualification should happen. in the game. But the way I see it is that we have to have a qualification process, and we have to try to get an open team and a vet team, and if we can, an under-20s team and a ladies team if possible, that sort of thing. But generally, the focus initially is on the open and the vets to make sure we've got those two teams in place. But the qualification, we're going to be holding an event in March to qualify for the World Cup. And the idea I'd like is we do a 2-day event. Day 1 will be qualification 1 and day 2 will be qualification 2. So if people, let's say the football's on, you can't make day 1, you can still qualify on day 2 because it's a separate event. So we'll do 2 days to cover that. That way you don't, annoy people making it a 2-day event, because not everybody can turn up for 2 days. So, and then the top 2 would qualify. And if it's the top 2 are the same, then you just go the next, the next third player, next fourth player. Yeah. And then if you've got a squad of 6, what I'd like to do is we've agreed as a board, we want to have a couple of wild cards for the 5th and 6th places, just because we've got players. There are players that live abroad. Okay. Yeah. So you've got someone like Casper Bennett, who lives in Malaysia, Thailand maybe. Yeah. So he may be coming back to the country soon, but he might not be able to make the event, let's say. But he's top, world-class player. He's got to the World Cup final. Yeah. So if he shows he's got good form, then I think he should be considered as a wild card. I think what's happened in the past though has been we've probably had situations where there's been sort of 6 players have been selected by, say, one person, the captain, and all this sort of stuff, and that's when it becomes like an old boys network, and that's absolutely wrong. I don't want that. So we want to keep it fair. The qualification has to be in place, and then the wild cards just give a little bit of flexibility. And then the thing is as well, what we found in the past is it's the same with every country. The players that qualify, it turns out a few months later they don't actually want to play in the World Cup. A couple of them pull out and all this sort of stuff.
Can't afford it.
Then you're really stuffed.
Have to work. Can't afford it. I have to work. Do you know what I mean?
I had one guy, I won't mention names, but one guy moaning about qualification process a few years ago, moaning about it, right? Didn't even have a British passport.
Fuck off. You should check that before. You should be checking that before the qualification competition. You have to have a passport. You have to be able to get off your work. You have to be able to afford to pay your ticket and go. And you have to be willing to fucking go there.
Yeah. So you have to definitely.
Commitment's got to be there, isn't it? But
I seen the Americans 1 year at the World Cup, and Brian Arnold was playing with them. Lovely fella, but I think he had only just discovered Subbuteo and fell in love with the game. And they were saying the team to the World Cup, and it was down to, well, who can go? Brian was like, I can fucking go. And the next thing he's in the World Cup. He was like a top player, do you know what I mean? But he got a game, like, do you know what I mean? And Brian's going on. Brian's pretty fucking good now. But that's where we're at over here. Who can go? Who wants to go? Who can go? You know what I mean?
It's exactly the same here in South Africa. Okay, they've got the same problem. They've got some good players, some players that would test the Aussies and the US guys. And if you've got Russia there, then they test them, and Argentina, they've turned up a couple of times, and even Japan. But I think you've got to, we've just these sort of countries, they don't have to have a qualification process. They just need to know who can play, really. Yeah. And then they can decide, But yeah, if you do have a qualification process and at least that person wins it, then they should be the first person on the team sheet. Yeah. That's probably the best way of doing it.
Well,
but it's hard.
We're in a position where we can offer where we are. We can have Northern Ireland, or we can have Ireland. We can have 2 teams. So if we turn around and says, right, lads, we're going to the World Cup, who wants to go? And say 8 people put their hand up, well, we can go, well, 4 you live in the UK, Northern Ireland, you can play for Northern Ireland. And 4 you live in Ireland, so you can go and play for Ireland. But at the end of the day, we're going to end up with 4 people, and that's it, if we're lucky.
Two different associations, totally 2 different associations. You have, if you want to play for the Republic, you need to register for the Republic.
Yeah, but we
If
can.
you want to
We
play for
have
the
that.
North, you need to.
We have that.
We have the choice. We've double.
We can
What do you
pick.
call it? Dual citizenship. That's what it means. Dual citizenship. So you can. So if there already was 4 for the Northern Ireland team, and the Republic were struggling, needed another player, then one of us can go down and play for them. But you need to register with them. It's a whole job.
Yeah, I think you're not, you're not sport for choice. We've got, obviously, we've probably got more players in England than anywhere else. Wales has a similar problem, by the way, because I mean they can't, they can get a team together, but it's hard for them to do it as well. Scotland's a little bit more sport for choice, so they're guaranteed to have a vets team, the Scots. And England, we have struggled. I mean, I played in Gibraltar. We only had me, and really we had 2 guest players and Brandon Lavender, who should have been playing in another category. So
Yes,
that
young
was
fella.
really bad turnout for us. So that's England. So
That's
you
have a big pool of players there that you could pull from.
No,
Really?
you have a
No.
big pool of players. Back then, you probably didn't.
it just gets messy, because what happened that year, they did a qualification process, and the top players, you mentioned snobbery earlier. There is a little bit of snobbery, and I'd say this to you, from some of the top players. They don't really want to play in all the English events. When they start to do a circuit of events, if they say, we're going to do a qualification process of 4 events, you've got to play in these events, otherwise you can't qualify. That's kind of what they did. Then all the best players didn't turn up for these events. And quite rightly, Chris Thomas, who's been on your show, he spends a lot of money travelling to Europe, to play in bigger events, but he can't play in all the events because he hasn't got the time like anyone else. Yeah. So it becomes challenging, which is why I want to do it over one weekend.
But there's a couple of boys like Chris Thomas that you should be saying he's in the team. With three places left, boys need to qualify for. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you've really only 2, because obviously
you can put you. Chris
you're the
Thomas,
best in the UK at the minute, aren't you?
Myself, you mean?
Yeah, you're the best player in the UK at the minute.
No. Chris Thomas is the best player in the UK. I'd say Darren Clark as well. You've got Darren Clark.
That's right.
You have a lot of big players.
Yeah, I'm probably the best vet at the moment, right? But then you've Chris Darren could be a vet actually, so that would be a challenge for me. But then you've got Chris Short as well. Chris Short's very good.
Yeah.
If I wanted to pick the England team, I know roughly who the best 6 should be if I was doing it as a captain.
If you could throw out your dream team now, who would you have?
Are you allowed?
Just
are you
for
allowed
the
to pick
open?
it?
just for the open, your dream team.
Okay, my dream team probably would be Chris Thomas, Darren Clark, Chris Short, Casper Bennett, probably myself, and then I'd say if he gets off his arse and plays, Matt Lampett.
Matt Lampett, right. You boys would give anybody a game. Do you know what I mean? That squad there would give anybody a game. At least
you should be pushing the Italians at that level there.
But there are some that. But then you've got players like Elliot Belafonte who's now challenging. So I'd say that Elliot would be given a slot. Brandon Lavender's coming good as well. So you've got some good players coming through. So these guys, they can beat all the top players, right? So when I say dream team, it's only based on what I've seen in the past historically. I think there's lots of other, Alan Lee's sort of getting there.
No, there's a lot. That's what I mean. I think he's a spoiled for choice in players.
Yeah, but there's different levels there. There's different levels there. There's different levels there.
It's better when we do a bit of a split on open and vets, actually, because you've got Bob Varney, myself. You could have Darren Clark. You could have Phil Redman. You've got your Brian Daly. You've got quite a few players.
definitely.
What age? What age is it? What age are you pushing into the vets at?
Do you know, it changes with fist stuff all the time because I don't agree with it, by the way, because I think it should be, if you're a vet, to me, it should be over 60. Really, that's a vet.
Yeah.
The proper veteran of Subbuteo.
Yeah, so I'd say over. I think it's like 44 or 45 now, something like that. It's quite young, isn't it? Really.
That's very young. It's very fucking young, man.
Yeah. I know.
Bradley, what are you, Bradley? Are you a vet?
I'm nearly a vet. What age are you, Justin?
51.
51. You're a vet. Fucking
You
vet.
don't look 51. Fuck me.
Very fresh. Very fresh. Single young brother, no kids, no wife.
I've got no kids, but I've got a wife. Really, I've lived with her for 18 years.
Put a ring on it.
Prison sentence, in it.
If you like it, if you like it, you need to put a ring on it. That's what Beyonce says.
Here we're gonna have a look at what's in your box. So here is Justin Finch's "What's in Your Box."
Show you the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Good morning from South Africa. So this is my What's in the Box. As you can see, there is a number of stickers on the box from around the world. The original box was created for me by my good friend Ben Staples. In the middle of all the stickers, you can see the original Glide Slide Chip and Dip Club sticker, which dates back to 1990, which a lot of history there. But there's stickers from friends and tournaments I've played with throughout the world. So let's just open the box. There we go. It's a South African Table Soccer Championship souvenir that I've just played in. There's my Extreme Works cloth. And then you have my two teams. So what you have on the left with the claret base, you have an Extreme Works team, West Ham United. You're invited in claret and blue. This is a team I used in South Africa. And also on the right you see the white base with the blue insert. That is the Astra Base CC2 team. The Extreme Works is actually universal, I believe. Then you have two goalkeepers. You have a ball as well. You even have a nail file, much needed in tournament play. And you can see a little sticker there from Cape Town as well. So this is my box. I often only ever take two teams. I have on occasions taken a third team and put them in this box. But that's it for you. And here's the view in Cape Town. And that concludes what's in my box.
Well done, lovely box,
That'd be
Justin.
fun.
And that is your box, not anybody else's box.
Brilliant. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of what's in my box.
I don't want any photos.
No blue. No blue.
Here, Justin, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you, and thank you for taking time out of your sunbathing in South Africa.
Whoa.
Oh, I know,
Whoa,
I
whoa.
know.
Whoa.
I'm not done yet.
All right, okay.
See him.
Okay.
Before you go, judge goal of the week. For us, the goals of the week. So we're gonna let you see goals of the week.
Now I've got a cousin called Kevin.
No, he's not. Has to be in the shooting area.
in my professional opinion, I would have to give goal of the week. Unfortunately, I have to say, to the Chelsea and English vice president, Alan Lee, because of the long flick up to the ball. And then
Well
the
done,
finish.
Alan.
Well done,
Well
Alan.
done. That broke your heart to do that, didn't it?
That's very gracious of you, Justin.
No.
Very gracious of you.
I had to do it, yeah, because it was only fair because it was a good goal. In all fairness,
was a
the
good
long
goal.
flick was the
Good layup. He's
Good
been
long flick.
he's been the bridesmaid a few times in that goal of the week.
Yeah, to me as well.
He's now in a chance of winning the year, so
No, he deserves it.
he deserves it. He's a good man. He's doing brilliant stuff for Subbuteo in the UK.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. Actually, one of the great things about what we've been doing as the ESA, Alan Lee, has very much been a fundamental part of the development, because without his commitment, we wouldn't be where we are today. So that's another one for him now.
Yeah,
Keeping the locker. So 2 compliments.
2 compliments in a row.
He was telling us all his trophies are runner-ups to you. There's a trophy
Really?
cabinet of second places, and you've the opposite numbers. First places all on yours.
I think there's a picture of me on his dartboard at home as well.
I'd say there is, especially after that final in Wembley.
But yeah, that was it. 20 seconds left. You'll never live that one down.
Remind him. Sorry, Alan.
Before you go, Justin.
Yeah.
What's been your biggest one or your favourite one in all the games you've played?
I could go to the Alan Lee one again.
These are bastards.
Yeah, we had to rub that one in, eh? That's sort of turning it in now. But do you know what? I think, actually, back in the day when I was a kid, that was incredible because you qualify for the World Cup. I mean, what a time to score, and it was just amazing for a kid to do that. I think recently, though, there's been a couple of experiences really where the Glide Slide Chip and Dip Club, we got to the final of Mons. We played Carlos Flores, Bari, Cremona in the final.
Brilliant.
And we got absolutely lashed the night before the tournament. I mean, we were, hungover, but we got to the final of the biggest tournaments, and we were half cut throughout the day. I mean, we were dreadful, hangovers, but we played really well. And it's over 2 days as well. So that team was me, Darren Clark, Chris Thomas, and Matt Lampitt. That for all of us was a tremendous achievement. But recently, I suppose winning the Scottish Grand Prix was good for me because I beat Montano in the semi-final and beat John Field in the final.
Brilliant.
So
Brilliant.
Recent times, that was a good win. That was for me. Yeah, I'd say.
Brilliant. Fair play, Dave.
Very good. Man. Very good. Was that as a veteran?
Yeah, veteran. Yeah.
The crowd that was in Bob Barney's house that FaceTimed America. You and Chris Thomas. You don't remember it, do you?
Oh yes.
I
do remember it.
That means he was there.
A very bad head the next day. Yeah, completely intoxicated that one. I think yes.
Magic. We'll bring that up every week. So we will.
Yeah.
He's not done yet. You're not done yet, Justin. We're in it being December. Last year, this honour fell to wee sexy Brian Daly. But this year, need you to switch on the Christmas lights in the shed.
Are you giving him a countdown? Have you to do it? What do you want him to do?
He's going to do the countdown. You to do the countdown.
What do you want? So, can you? What do you want me to do? I couldn't hear you. Sorry, it broke up a little bit.
You're doing the Christmas light switch on in the shed.
Oh, you want me to do the countdown?
Do it from
5,
4.
Right,
Okay,
with
5,
right.
4.
Wait. Hold on. Set the scene. We'll turn off the lights. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
Right,
It's the
prepared this year.
the best.
Right.
Look.
Go. Get your countdown
10,
going.
9,
Oh.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Merry Christmas! you've been asked to do some weird stuff, Justin, but this has got to be the highlight.
Wow. I can see the. What is going
And
on?
on that note, Justin, thanks very much. We'll chat to you later.
Adios.
Cheerio.
Thank you, guys. Been a pleasure. Take care.
Justin.
Bye.
Stay here, man.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you very much. And all the way from South Africa, thanks for taking the time of your trip. Bradley, the match highlights. We need some match highlights here. So here is this week's match highlights.
Yeah!
Nice. Look at the deflection, Chris. Look. Back.
Very good, Chris. Very good now. Take your time on this shot.
There you go. Match highlights. Thank you very much. Best part of the week from around the globe. Love it. Love this bit. Right. Go on, Bradley. Fuck. But keep my glasses on.
Where are we going first?
You started in Australia last week, so come go a wee bit closer.
Italy.
Good.
Firenze. What do we see? So the Firenze Subbuteo Club had a third WASPA of the season and a four-station Swiss system again. Getting very popular. So Luca Pini topped the table in that. Congratulations, Luca.
Well done, Luca.
Luca, that's the only name we know. Loads of Belgian action. Do you want to go through them all?
Let's give us a couple there. Where was
I'll
our
give you them all.
Vincent's club?
4 clubs. Okay, look. Tempelhoven United held the WASPA. 7 players playing Swiss system again. Jesus Christ. First place, Jeffrey Moraine.
Well done, Jeffrey.
WASPA number 1. Big Vinny pulled in number 4. Vincent, well done, Vincent.
Well done, Sir Vincent.
The club of Hugh also had a tournament. 5 players. Round robin, and Ralph Gregory won that. Very good. Followed closely by Jean Grosdent. All go, man. SC Flanders, North Belgium, also had a tournament. 6 players, final table. Number 1, David Wouters. And number 2, good friend of the club, Josh Coleman's. Very, very famous video player. And who finished, not because it's bottom of the table, but a player in the club, big Irish name, Mr. Gary Moore.
Gary Moore was over in Belgium.
He lives in Belgium.
Oh, does he? I didn't know that. Very good.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Well, congratulations for finishing bottom.
He's in his
But good to see him playing, yeah, definitely.
Hard competition. Magic Team Tourney had another tournament in Belgium. 14 players that game. And yet again, number 1, Jeffrey Moraine. He has some flicker. Vincent Copenhagen pulled in number 5 in that one.
Getting that WASPA point there, Vincent. Getting that WASPA points, that's what it all counts.
Loads in Belgium. SC Flanders again had another one. David was same fucking table, except no Gary Moore this time. So David Wouters and Josh Coleman's number 1, number 2.
Need to get over to Belgium.
Need to go to Belgium. Everybody needs to get to Belgium.
What about where are you going next?
America.
In America?
Who's playing in America? Colorado Subbuteo Club.
Hey.
The first tournament under a WASPA banner. So there was 5 players, Swiss system.
Again?
Yeah. Who won?
Dan Cranston.
Nah. He's not from Denver.
And in Colorado, he's not in there. All right.
He's not in there.
Dak?
Nah. He came second.
Packy?
He was put to the post by Packy Sheridan, America's
Packy
number
Sheridan.
1.
Well done,
Packy Sheridan.
Launch your Packy.
And I think there was new enough players in there. Tory Reid, he's new, but I think Justin Little and Jason Woodridge. They were new players in that club. New players in America.
I
Brilliant.
seen them. I seen one of their videos on Facebook. It must have been one of the couple of the new guys playing, and they were having a shootout. Did you see it?
Shit out. Seen that.
the worst ever shot. First shot. Your man's shot is limp. Everybody does it, don't they? Just
Well,
absolute miss flick.
it was a pure flick. God love him. Something new.
But it's good to see new boys out playing. That's great.
So we hit the big one now.
Get the big one done. That'll round us up.
Was that rounding us up?
That'll round us up.
Well, will we do another one before the big one?
No.
I want to give special mention to our good friends Wolverhampton Table Football Club, holding the Roy Holden Trophy yet again. That's the competition that we went over and played in.
Yeah.
Played in the Electric Club. Brilliant. Christian Short won that competition.
Well done.
Beat Mick Hammonds in a final. What about this for a final? What was the score?
About 4-3 or something.
6-4.
Fuck me.
That was a good
Go on.
game.
That's a
Mick
good
Hammonds
entertainment there for the game.
Mick's fairly flying, isn't he? Colin Fletcher won the Plit, and Ruby Matthews won the Junior Cup.
Well done, Rubes. Ruby.
Well done, Rubes.
We need to get Ruby back. So we do.
You need to get Ruby back to your show.
Need to get Ruby back. Cian, I know you watch Ruby stuff. Please. Right, get the big one.
The big one. South Africa. It's all going South Africa. We talked about it last week, didn't we, that it was happening that weekend?
Yeah.
Mm.
Back in the fags, to see. Mm-hmm.
Flip. Well, I could be dead by tomorrow.
You know,
this might be the last
actually
time you have me on.
Smoking's banned from TV, you know. You could get us fucking banned from YouTube.
Well, I was chatting to our Judy. We were flicking through YouTube and the TV the other day, and our Judy, who is unwell with COVID at the moment,
yes,
is quite the YouTube expert. And she pointed out that whilst the show looked pretty good and funny and jazzy with all the bits, and the cursing's alright because YouTube people, they enjoy the odd curse word here and there.
Curse word, yeah.
Smoking and drinking, big no in the YouTube world.
Oh, that's why we're not getting the followers.
Even vaping, big no.
Fucking drives me round the bend every fucking 2 seconds.
So you can't monetize your show if there's smoking and vaping. And then I thought, find that fucking prick, Table Football Monthly, slagging me and did the fucking mock thing and he had the pipe in his hand. I bet you YouTube says, nah, pipes, nah, no money for that show. And I said, oh, well, fuck you, see, literally. They threw the toys out of the pram. Maybe.
So what I do? I sack you? Just sack you from the show? The smoking and the drinking?
Yeah.
Here, what about that? Or Mob, they're bringing out a Christmas special. Can't wait for it.
I can't wait. One of my favourite show on YouTube. You know that. I'm a big fan.
I know, big fan. You don't even know your man's name. That's how much of a fan you are.
I do, Keith.
Here, we'll have our own Christmas special coming up as usual after last year's shenanigans. Ends up a bit fucking messy, doesn't it?
It was a debacle. Last year's Christmas debacle.
I'm thinking this year, 6 groups of 2, which is 12 people, who've been on the show this year, or roundabout way.
You're the boss. It's your show.
Your show. We're doing it the weekend, so I don't have to go to work the next day. Right, South Africa, go.
Right. So, the big one, national champions in South Africa. Fuck me, man, but they did not do it. So, they had a club championship first. There was the top 3 clubs in South Africa. The Joburg Eagles, ESA Subbuteo Club, and the Eastern's Table Football Club. So, who won? Oh, because there was like a tie at the end. So the final 2, the 2 big clubs, the Joburg Eagles and the Easterns both ended up in the table on 11 points, and they all agreed unanimously between themselves that they should share the prize. No fighting, no arguing. Boom.
Brilliant.
Split the
That's
prize.
good.
Held the trophy
That's good
together.
sportsmanship.
Congratulations to
sportsmanship.
both of them.
Well done.
Right. There was an inaugural Old Subbuteo competition held there as well. South African Championships. Hosted by the Joburg Eagles. 16 players, Old Subbuteo. But there was no getting past, as he's been called in South Africa, English superstar, Justin Finch.
He was never getting beat, was he?
He was never getting beat. So, played in the final. Who did he beat in the final? Ian. Some dude, Ian. Ian Clark. Per Ian Clark. 1-0. Only 1-0. So
That's
Justin
good
got
result.
1-0 over Ian Clark. That's pretty good, man.
Pretty good. Well done.
And it didn't finish there. That English superstar, the man with the golden finger, rocked all around South Africa and ended up winning the whole thing. Won the South African National Table Football Championship. So does that mean that Justin Finch is now the South African table football champion?
No. I don't think he'd be national champion. I think he might have been. We were talking about this with. Who were we talking about this with last 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Oh, I
Jack Walker.
remember that now. Yes.
But somebody went to Belgium and played in the national championships, and
Yes.
he
Can't
won
win.
it, but he didn't become national champion. Like whoever came second became the national champion. So
Can't win.
maybe
But
that's the way.
apparently Justin put on quite the spectacle. Firing out the Hollywood goals, left, right, and centre. Had everybody in awe. And brilliant. Flipping Finchy. So he beat Sean Morgan in the final. So Sean Morgan would actually be the South African champion.
National champion. There you go.
Yeah. Well, does it end for us there? There was a split competition. Who won the split?
G.
Big G. Big
Well done,
guy,
Big G. Excellent.
Congratulations, Gary.
Very fantastic. And I'm sure you had a great time with Justin when he was over with you. So well done.
Like we had a ball.
Good to see you have a friend. Hello.
Oh. Hey, Buster.
Hello, boy. Right, is that us? Is that you wrapped up? Boy wants to walk.
Cody, get lost.
No, he's all right.
Last Sunday also saw the second round of the Scottish National Championships. So, at the end of that, still topping the table on 12 points is Steve Bennett.
Well done.
But who's sitting on second place? That's what we want to know. Who's sitting in second place? I want to know. This is a field with the Dave Baxters, the Gareth Christies, the Tom Burns of the world, Dave Gladman's, and they're all at it. Marco Bevilacqua, number 2.
Good to see, Marco.
Hold on, there's 2 Bevilacquas? No, there's not. There's only one. There's only one. Who did they have a good score against? Fuck me. Marco beat Brian Spurs 8-0.
Beat who 8-0?
Brian Spurs. Fucking gentleman, Brian Spurs. That's not nice. Should have given him the Farrell 4.
Nobody does the Farrell 4 but Farrell.
I did the Farrell 4 but Farrell. There you go. That'll do it.
Super duper. Thanks a million. That was great. Good to have your results and news, and it's very interesting. And everybody likes it. Did you see that? You didn't see the comment on the last show, just to tie off here. The guy about the video.
What?
He says, the usual festive clap trap on the show, but I'll let you use the word Subbuteo.
Who said that?
Some Subbuteo legend.
Where?
YouTube.
I want YouTube.
On our YouTube video, the last one from last week.
Who was it?
I don't know. That's what you call him, Subbuteo legend. He says, the usual table football chat festive clap trap. I'll let you use the Subbuteo name.
Sounds like a dickhead to me. But
Maybe
I
it's
mean,
one. Do you know what I think's been taken off? The dislike. Likes.
the dislike button's been taken off. I told you that.
Dislikes. Maybe he's one of the dislikers. He can't dislike, so now he has to start typing.
Oh, I bet you I know who it is. Tommy Westwood. He's the Subbuteo legend. He's the Subbuteo legend. He's a
Do you think
legend.
so?
And he's
Oh, yeah.
he's a legend in Subbuteo. You know what I mean? He don't like the festive. It's all about the heavyweights.
Oh, about the heavyweights.
All right, Tom. Calm down.
Inspector Gadget, you're getting somewhere here. You're going to find out who all these dislikers are. Right.
I'm telling you.
Oh, see you.
See? Was that it?
That's us. Good luck. Thanks a million. Thanks for watching.
Bye,
See you
bye,
all
bye.
next week. Cheers. Bye bye.